Hi guys, how are you all doing? This is the tennis world. Hi guys, how are you all doing? This is the tennis world of the tennis expert. I am your tennis expert. Big warm welcome to my viewers right around the world. Carlos Alcaraz, as I predicted in my preview video, has won the Australian Open and won the final over Novak Djokovic in 4 sets. In my preview video, I said Alcaraz will win and he'll beat Djokovic in 4 sets. It happened pretty much the way that I thought it would happen. Again, the key for Alcaraz was getting Djokovic into the long rallies, moving him around, exposing his lack of his movement that's not quite what it was when he was younger, and then exhausting him. At the beginning of the match, Djokovic just knew that physically he wouldn't be able to last in these long rallies for hours, so he has to go for a lot of power near the line, take risks, and shorten points. If you look back at Djokovic and even Nadal's career, they could win the rallies against anyone, and people knew they couldn't, so they had to go for a lot of power near the line, try to shorten the point, risk making a lot of errors, but if they catch fire and hit a whole lot of winners and overpower either Djokovic and Nadal, they can win. But they knew they couldn't rally with Djokovic or Nadal, and they were going for a lot of power into the lines and taking risks. Sometimes they were hot, sometimes they were cold. Whereas what you saw of Djokovic in this match, the roles were reversed. He was like, I know I can't physically be in these long rallies with Alcaraz at 22. So I'm going to have to go for a lot of power near the line. I'm going to have to play very attacking tennis. I'm going to have to take risks. I'm going to do tennis that's going to avoid me being inside of a rally, which has higher chance of winners and higher chance of errors. You can catch fire 1 minute and then you can be terrible the next. First set, he's attacking tennis, taking a lot of risks, going for a lot of power near the line. The balls landed on the line mostly. He caught fire, just like when anyone takes a risks and says they're going to go for it. It's possible to be great, possible to be terrible. First set, Djokovic was catching fire, was attacking. The risks were coming off, and he won the first set, and he really overpowered Alcaraz and rushed Alcaraz. But from then on, just like I said, when you're playing very attacking tennis, there's a risk you could make a lot of shots and get a period where you catch fire, and you can miss a whole lot of shots and make errors. Second and third, he missed a whole lot of shots. Alcaraz was saying, I'm going to get involved in long rallies. I'm going to move you around. I'm going to play great defense. I'm going to make it very physical. Djokovic was saying, I will not engage in those rallies, so I'm going to go for it as hard as I can near the lines, try to shorten points, and take risks. And if I can hit a whole lot of winners, I can not get in a rally and I can blow you off the court. And I've already done that in the first set. But that high-risk tennis lasted for 1 set and looked great. But it's high risk for a reason, that you can be hot and cold. So hot in the first set, he was cold in the second and third. Alcaraz was forcing him to go into rallies in the second and third. Djokovic was saying, I'm refusing to be in a rally. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go for a lot of power near the line and just blast you off the court with winners and not get in rallies. First set, that worked out. He did blast him off the court with winners, and they did all land in. Second and third, he was missing those shots. So Alcaraz forcing him to rally. Djokovic saying he won't get in a rally. Djokovic going for the line with a lot of power, and then the ball's missing. And every time they got into a rally, it was a great rally for a while, but then Djokovic has the bailout shot. He's just going to try to hit a winner to end the point, and it's missing. And that happened in the second and third. So Alcaraz out-rallying him, or Djokovic saying, I'll refuse to get in a rally. I'll go to try to hit the ball really hard on the line and just hit a winner out of nowhere, right? And then missing. So it was either Alcaraz out-rallying Djokovic or Djokovic refusing to be in the rally, trying to hit a winner with a lot of power near the line and missing most of the time. A few of them landing, but most of the time. Going between Alcaraz out-rallying him, Djokovic refusing to get in the rally, going for a winner and missing. That's what happened in the second and third set. The fourth set, like this hot and cold attacking tennis, taking risks from Djokovic, not wanting to be in rallies. Like I said, he can come in and out, and then it came back again from the first set. And he actually pulled it back. He was a bit more patient, willing to be in a bit more rallies, willing to run a bit more. That was number one. Number two, So he's willing to attack, but attack from a rally and sort of control the rally a bit more. So a bit more patient in the fourth set, higher chance of success, was more successful and was willing to play defense, but still really going for that attacking tennis. Like I said, can come and go because you're taking risks. You can be hot and cold, and now it's back again, but it's back with a bit more patience and higher percentage and willing to defend. But in the end, they're both stepping up. They're both the best two under pressure I've ever seen. They both won fifth sets most of the time. They come from 2 sets to love. They win tiebreakers. So when Djokovic is playing anyone that Alcaraz, he can step on the big moments like he did with Sinner and win. Same with Alcaraz. When he plays Sinner or anyone else, he can just step up in the big moments and get the win. But now in the fourth set, the two best guys under pressure are stepping up at the same time. It's making it more and more physically and exhausting. And then both these guys stepping up in the big moments at the same time against each other. All that's causing is the most physically exhausting rallies. These guys pushing each other's bodies to the limit because they're the best two under pressure and they're stepping up at the exact same time and they're pushing each other to the limit physically. So now it becomes, with Djokovic stepping up in the fourth set like he always does in the big moments, and Alcaraz, and then they're both pushing each other to the limit by both stepping up under the pressure moments at the same time. It's now coming down to who can endure this, who can endure. Djokovic saying, I'll do anything to get this fourth set. I'm stepping up in the big moments like I always do. And Alcaraz also saying, I'm stepping up in the big moments, and we're both pushing each other to the limit. And it's very physical because they're both showing absolutely everything as they're the best two big moment pressure players, and they're both stepping up together under the pressure at the same time and pushing each other to the limit. Now the question is, these long physically grinding rallies where they're pushing each other to the limit, how long can both of them maintain this? And obviously it was going to be the 22-year-old before the 38-year-old. So like I said, both the best two pressure players, fourth set of pressure moment, both stepping it up at the same time and both pushing each other to the limit. But then you're watching these great points. How long can these guys keep it up? But then you've got to know the 22-year-old will keep it up longer. That's what I said also in my preview video. I said they would both step up in the big moments, and that would cause them to both push each other to the limits. And then it'd be the question is, that level that you're stepping out, who can do it longer? Who's going to get tired first? And I said it would be Djokovic. So Alcaraz still was better, even though Djokovic was stepping up. Most of Alcaraz's service games, except for 1 point, he held easily, right? He just held so easily. Whereas Djokovic had to keep getting 3, 4, 5 juices just to keep even, just to keep on serving. But he was willing to fight. And I was wondering, physically, energy-wise, how long can he keep doing it? 3-all, 4-all, he keeps going through these long juice, keeps fighting to keep it even. Like I said, they're both stepping it up. They're both stepping it up at the same time in the big moments because they're pressure players, and they're both pushing each other to the limit. But how long can this continue? And Djokovic was the one under the juice games and the pressure most of the time. But then when it gets to the 6-5 game, the answer is there for you. Djokovic has been fighting and fighting and fighting the whole set, stepping up in the big moments, why Alcaraz is, and they're pushing each other to the limit. But at the 6-5 game, it's Djokovic that can no longer physically keep doing it in this level where two guys stepping up in the big moments, pushing each other to the limit. They've got to 6-5 like that. How long can they keep stepping up against each other and pushing each other to the limit? Well, Djokovic reaches his limit at 6-5 and makes a whole lot of errors, and Alcaraz is able to continue at that high, I'm stepping up level for longer. Whereas Djokovic cannot continue past 6-5. So then in this thing where they're both stepping it up and pushing each other to the limit, Djokovic runs out of gas at 6-5. Alcaraz doesn't run out of gas. Alcaraz gets the break, wins at 7-5, wins it in 4 sets. And Carlos Alcaraz is your 2026 Australian Open champion. Now let's look at what this looks like for the GOAT debate. Alcaraz has 7 Grand Slams. He's the youngest player to ever do so. He's won the career Grand Slam. The youngest player to do that was Nadal at 24. He's 22. So youngest at winning all 4 Grand Slams, and youngest to the total number of 7 Grand Slam. Even Djokovic had 1 Grand Slam at his age. That's 7 times more. So I really think when it comes to the GOAT debate, he is really on track to get the most Grand Slams right now. No one else at his age, no one else had what he had. And the guy who has the most only had one, and he had 7. So, like, he's really ahead. And then remember, Djokovic had 1 at this stage and was still able to get all the way to 24. What will Alcaraz do at 7 Grand Slams at this age? And remember, Djokovic had to play for a Nadal, for a Federer, for a Stan Wawrinka del Potro. Most of the time, Alcaraz is just going to have Sinner unless somebody else emerges. So he's in a better position at 7 Grand Slams at the age Djokovic had 1. He's probably going to get weaker opposition too. So unless he has extreme physical issues, I can't see any way if he's at 7 Grand Slams now at 22 and Djokovic had 1 Grand Slam at 22, he's not also going to get to 24 or more. I'm predicting he'll get to 30. That's what I'm going to say. And on top of that, he doesn't even need to be as good as Djokovic from this point because Djokovic had 1 Grand Slam at this age, got to 24, won 23 more. Whereas Alcaraz only needs 17 more. So 6 less to get to that number than what Djokovic won from this stage onwards. And then, like I said, he'll probably have less opposition. So 1, he doesn't even need to be good because he's got 7 while he's got a 6 Grand Slam head start. Secondly, it would be easy for him to be better than Djokovic because it's looking like he's going to face less opposition. So when you add those two things up, he needs less Grand Slams because he's got 7 and Djokovic had 1 at that age. He's 6 Grand Slams ahead. So he can win 6 Grand Slams less than what Djokovic won from 22 onwards and still get to 24. Secondly, he doesn't even need to be as good as Djokovic because the opposition looks like it won't be as good. So when you add that up, if he wins the same amount of Grand Slams from this point onwards than what Djokovic won from 22 years of age onwards, he's 6 Grand Slams ahead of Djokovic when they were both 22, 7 Grand Slams for Alcaraz, 1 for Djokovic. So if he wins the same as what Djokovic wins from 22 onwards, he'll stay 6 Grand Slams ahead of Djokovic and get to 30 Grand Slams. So Djokovic finishing with 24, he would finish at 30. So I think he's on track to becoming the GOAT. I'm saying he's going to get 30 Grand Slams and he's going to surpass Novak Djokovic. And he's got 7 times the amount of Grand Slams Djokovic had at 22 years of age. He's got more Grand Slams than anyone else. And like I said, he's probably it's not going to be as hard for him to win Grand Slams because it's just going to be about him and Sinner alone. So if anything, that makes it an easier career and an easier chance to have success in the future than what Djokovic has, due to the fact that Djokovic had to go for tougher opponents and he won't have to. And just even if he's not doesn't take advantage and isn't better than Djokovic because of that, he's just the same. He stays winning the same as Djokovic and he stays 6 Grand Slams ahead like he was when they were both 22, 7-1. Then he stays 6 ahead. He finishes with 30 with Djokovic 24. But then if he's able to capitalize on easier opposition, it could be even more than 30. But for now, I'm going to say Carlos Alcaraz will be your GOAT in the future. He will win 30 Grand Slams. But for now, 7 Grand Slams at 22. No one's ever done that. The career Grand Slam at 22. No one does that. I predicted this. I said Alcaraz would win in 4. He did. Carlos Alcaraz is your 2024. Carlos Alcaraz is your 2026 Australian Open champion. He's the holder of the career Grand Slam, the youngest guy to get 7 Grand Slams, and he's on his way to GOAT status. But that's a long way to come, but he's on his way to it. So subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. And thanks for watching and enjoy the process as Alcaraz moves closer and closer to GOAT status with every Grand Slam. But he's not there yet, but he's on track for it. So subscribe and be back. I'm definitely going to do a video in March before Indian Wells. If a lot of top players play in a tournament before that, I'll do a video there. By March, the latest, I'll be with you Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, Madrid, Rome, and then all the way through the French Open, Wimbledon, all the Masters 1000, and any of the 250s or 500s where a lot of great players are playing. I'll do that. I don't know who's playing, but Indian Wells at the latest in early March. I'll be with you. Hopefully before. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day or night. And like I said, if we get any top players playing in February, I'll be with you for that too. So subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Thanks for being with me. Subscribe, guys, and be back for my next video. I'm going to be with you for all the important tournaments this year. Subscribe. Thanks for being with me, and bye for now.